Tri-State, this is KHQA Sports.
Well, last year's sectional baseball showdown between Ellsbury and Canton was marked by a ferocious thunderstorm, a one-day delay in play, and ultimately a Reese Carmichael walk-off home run for the Tiger win. The rematch tonight was nearly as strange and just as dramatic. We had a lot of teams with a lot of opportunities to score early in this game. Pick it up, Ellsbury threatening right here. Great play out in center field on the nice little hit right here by Brandon Bearhorst. Throws it to third, comes up gunning. Mr. Fellinger applies the tag, and Ellsbury's scoring chances are nigh at that point. Meanwhile, on the hill, the aforementioned Reese Carmichael dealing. He's an Ellsbury killer, and he had them thwarted for most of the early part of this game. So too, though, was Joshua Phillips from Ellsbury, the lefty. Not overpowering, just good location and some nasty off-speed stuff. We were scoreless until the bottom of the third. That's when Matthew Henry breaks out for his team. He hit the Jeep with that two-run homer, giving the Indians a 2-0 lead at that point. It would stay that way with the score all the way to the top of the sixth inning when the Canton Tigers finally wake up. In this one, it's Tyler Neiman. Who would you guess? Starting things off, the lefty right here with a beautiful swing. It's a single. He's going to try to stretch into a double, and he just barely beats it. And that is a good thing for the Canton Tigers because the fun would ensue from that point forward. Mr. Fellinger steps to the plate. The RBI single right there by Justin makes it a 2-1 lead, still in favor of Ellsbury at that point. Then the fun continues. The freshman, Josh Kermode, steps up, drills a single to keep the ending extended, and that would be badly butchered, moving runners up into scoring position. Colin Baker, do your bidding right here. Little squeeze bunt brings home the tying run. We're tied up at 2, but we're not done with the Canton Tigers in that pivotal sixth frame. Logan Brown about to step up and do a little work as well, using the aluminum to his advantage, going straight back up the middle. A 2-run blast at that point made it 4-2 in favor of Canton. Bottom of the seventh, 4-3 after a 30-minute rain delay. The tying run standing at third base. Caleb Vitro drives him home. Yeah, kiss the bat, kids. We're all tied up. Extra innings were forced. Top of the eighth, Canton with the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded 3 different times in this game and came up with no runs in any of them. That time, it's an unassisted double play by Joshua Phillips. Fellinger, though, made it stand up right there. He was absolutely dealing. Finally, to the top of the ninth, we get some conclusion in this one. Great piece of hitting by Ben Logsdon. It turns out to be the game winner right there, driving home Josh Kermode. It's a 5-4 lead at that point, and then some defense by Mr. Brandon Bearhorst. This is about as close to not catching it as you can get. Little ice cream cone at the end of it. Good enough for a sectional title, though, by Mr. Bearhorst and company. Canton gets it done yet again. 5-4 is your final. Up next for the Canton Tigers, the winner of today's rain-delayed Lynn Harrisburg ball game. We'll get you a score on that one tomorrow. And again, the quarterfinals are set for Saturday. And if you're looking for Palmyra baseball highlights, so too were we today. Their game with Hallsville apparently rained out by a torrential downpour down near Columbia. That game has been rescheduled for tomorrow. Game time set for 5 o'clock. Despite all of its regular season success, Quincy Notre Dame could merit no better than a 3rd seed for the Class 3A Chatham Baseball Regional, which is why we've come to call it the Complex of Diamond Death. Nationally respected Sacred Heart Griffin is obviously the most daunting obstacle, but Chris Martin's crew had some rather rough sledding just to get a shot at that top seed. It would start today against Springfield Southeast. Early on, top of the first, Southeast playing the upset spoiler, at least for a few minutes. They look like they would. Mike Ryan right here triples into the gap to put his team up 1-0 at that point. Quincy Notre Dame did itself no favors with some outfield defensive lapses as well to help extend that lead out to 2-0 in favor of Springfield Southeast. As this, my friends, is Robbie Cooper putting one in play and giving his team the lead. The Raiders, though, created a big-time answer in the bottom of the first. Zach Valey about to walk the line, Johnny Cash style, right down the third base line, just inside of the chalk. That's going to roll and give his team its first RBI of the day. Adam Hudson about to do work as well. And all of a sudden, Quincy Notre Dame just comes to life. This is what they do. Again, hard smash to third, good enough to get him safe at first, good enough to score the runner. We're tied at 2. Then Tanner Zanger going to step up and do his thing right here, flaring one into short center field. That's going to score 2 and give the Raiders a 4-2 lead. Jordan Chappell, after the early hiccup, settled down nicely, would surrender nothing more the rest of the day. It's not too bad when he's your number 3 starter. Darn good player right there. QD cranking it back up in the bottom of the third. Blaine Wilson with an RBI rip. He's going to start the wheels in motion for the scoring carousel yet again. He would be followed suit right here by Austin Ritter, good piece of hitting, and then Jordan Chappell, who's going to help his own cause. Bottom line today, Quincy Notre Dame unstoppable offensively in this game. The Raiders are going to advance on into the regional semifinals, where on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, they'll play Chatham Glenwood on Chatham Glenwood's home field. Also today, I want to mention that Jacksonville was a 4-3 winner today over Springfield, which means Jacksonville on the other side of that bracket will be taking on nationally respected, nationally ranked Sacred Heart Griffin in the other semifinal. Also, Major League Baseball today, just in case you missed it, rough day for the Cardinals in extra innings as they lose to the Yankees and Derek Jeter 6-4. And finally, some relief for Jeff Samardzija. He gets his first win since last August as the Cubs end up pulling off the victory today. Final count over the Giants today was 8-4. Samardzija with 10 strikeouts in that ball game. Also added an RBI to the cause. I don't care if you're a Cubs fan or not. You have to feel for that guy leading the National League in ERA, yet winless to show for it. As big a statistical anomaly as you will ever see.
I think that whole lineup owes him a steak or something at
They owe him
least.
a car at this point, so there you have it.
And real quick, let's talk about that Canton game. 3 hours and 15 minutes, well worth it. Very exciting.
It certainly was, although we got a little soggy out there. We
Right.
dodged some raindrops, but the game itself lived up to all the hype. Canton going to have some tough work ahead, but I tell you what, they play really well with their backs to the wall.
They do.
When they get behind, they just find a way.
All right, thanks, Chris. Back after this.